What's up, you sexy bitches? Welcome to Curtain Call Comedy. Yeah. Woo! Wow, we have 500 people in attendance today. That is amazing, even twice as much as last week. Don't worry, they're all socially distanced, so this place is taking up about like 25 square miles of space for the show. So thanks for coming. You're probably wondering, why is it sunny at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night? Well, that's because we are filming in Brazil. So we managed to fly everyone out to Brazil for, yeah, we did because we're fancy like that. So anyways, yeah, my name is Betsy Speer. I am the host. This is our 5th night of running Curtain Call. And, we're all still in lockdown, and it's taking a toll on everybody. I'm a little upset because, I'm an American, as you can tell from my accent, and usually around this time of the year, I have friends and family coming to visit me over here. And it's important, it's really important for me, like for these Americans to come over, because that's when I usually get updates on what's going on at home, like, who got knocked up, who's married, who died from drug overdoses, although now it's like who died from COVID, right? Which is like everybody, because our country is shit. But another thing that people usually update me on whenever they come to visit me is slang, because since I've been away from America for so long, I have to get constantly updated on the new terms. It's like a software update, right? So like I had a friend come over last year, and I was cleaning the kitchen sink, and I was being really thorough about it. And she said, "Oh, Betsy, like, you're so extra." And I just waited for her to finish a sentence, like extra clean? An extra best friend? I don't know, like, what am I? And she's like, "No, it just means like superfluous," which seems like a very superfluous long way to explain to me what extra fucking means. Another term I've heard is fire, which apparently means cool. Like, "Oh man, that sweater is so fire." Which doesn't make any sense, because fire is really the opposite of cool. So now it's like, if I like someone, if I think someone's hot, I'm like, "Oh, that person's fugly, man. I just want to fuck them." And I'm sure there's gonna be lots of people in the comments being like, "Oh, this comedy show is so boring," which I'm gonna assume means super duper fun. So thanks, you guys. Yeah, that's how I get my software updates. It's like I'm like an old lady or like a grandma, but unlike the grandparents you go to, like when you have to go update their software and stuff, like I have to sorry, I'm a little rusty right now, guys. Okay. Unlike I have to go update my mom's software every year when I see her, because I worry about her getting viruses and stuff. Although one good thing about my mom is I don't have to worry about her getting scammed by a Somalian prince. A bad thing though is because she's super racist. So if she were to get a message from a Somalian prince, she would she's a Trump supporter, which is why she's going in a home. Anyways, on that fun note, we're gonna bring up our first act, which is Matthew Tallon. Matthew, get up here.
Ah, thank you. What a beautiful Wednesday evening, you guys. Oh, I'll tell you what's fire, Betsy, this socially distant crowd. Yeah, it's great. I'm glad to be back at this succubus of self-worth that is stand-up comedy. Since quitting, I felt like that bit in Spider-Man 2 where Peter Parker quits being Spider-Man. Just way happier in my personal life, but the city is in constant danger without me and my unique abilities. I've been going through a lot of changes in my personal life, though. I've been living with my parents, and I think we've been getting like a little too close for comfort. Like my dad tried calling me chief last night for the first time. I like my dad, but I don't know if we're ready to take that step, But I'm glad to be quarantining at home, because my last place was I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment with a roommate, so we had to share a bed, which isn't great for socially distancing. And he made me top and tail so as not to seem gay. Which I think is fucked up and homophobic. But the joke is on him, because I was actually really turned on by his feet. And that's what I'm doing to fight homophobia, man. 1 foot fetish at a time. Is it just me, or have kinks gotten super depraved over lockdown, though? Whatever happened to a little bit of good old-fashioned autoerotic asphyxiation, But that's not good enough for the kids these days with their TikTok and their Pokemon Go. Autoerotic asphyxiation is passé now. If your kid walked in on you autoerotic asphyxiating, he'd be like, "Oh my God, Dad, that is so lame." I can't believe you're ruining my birthday party like this. No, I'm into what all the kids are into these days: autoerotic electrocution. All you need is a fork, a plug socket, and an open mind, my brother. No, that's not true. I'm actually very vanilla sexually. Because I'm very awkward. I'm just grateful to be in the room, to be honest. I'm very awkward in my romantic relationships. I think I have unrealistic expectations of women sometimes. Like the expectation that some of them might want to sleep with me. But I'm kind of unfortunate in dating, Like this is actually true. I was on a date on Friday night when it was lashing rain and everything, and right as I was leaning in to kiss her, she saw a cyclist get hit by a car. And that really killed the mood, because I had to get out and give him my insurance and. But it's cool. Cian's rolling on with that one. Carrying it into that's great. No, but I was having sex with a girl before lockdown. This is probably my most awkward sexual encounter. I met a girl in a bar and we were getting on really well. So I brought her back to my place and we were in bed together. And my roommate was like, "I don't know which way to face now. This changes everything." No, but we were having sex and I was wearing a Trojan condom, and halfway through the condom broke, and these Greek guys jumped out of it and murdered her. I was like, wow, this really does offer 100% protection against unwanted pregnancy. I was dating a theater student before lockdown as well. I date like a lot of artsy people, I guess, probably because I'm a weird person, so the only ones who accept me. But it was awkward. The first time we had sex, she didn't orgasm, which was really hard for me, but she was like, "No, Matthew, it's okay. I actually wrote and performed a one-woman show about how I can't orgasm." And I was like, "Oh my God, marry me." Because that is the best excuse a person could possibly imagine. So I tried it. The next person I had sex with, they didn't come either. Noticing a trend here. And I was like, no, it's okay. I actually wrote a one-man show about how I never make people come. It's great. I went to see this play that she did. It was this really pretentious, artsy play about the 7 deadly sins. So there's this one guy up on stage, like, playing envy. And I think that'd be a pretty hard role to cast, because no matter who you give the part to, his understudy is always going to be better suited for it. Yeah, I really skipped over some of the words there in the middle. It's okay. This isn't going out live, though. I can dub this all in post. Can we pretend? Can we change the background as well? Make it like a brick wall or something? So then when the kids walk by in the background, it can just be even more bizarre. Let me see what else. I'm reading off some notes for anyone at home. No, I'm seeing someone at the moment, though, and it's cool because she's really into scrapbooking, which is really exciting because I can't tell yet whether she's a manic pixie dream girl or a serial killer. It's like favorite characters from old Disney shows. Cool. The Minister for Agriculture surrounded by pentagrams. Whoa. The cast of the Wizards of Waverly Place surrounded by pentagrams. Who knows? I guess we'll see. But I do kind of struggle in romantic, like, dating and stuff. I'm kind of self-conscious physically as well. I don't think I'm a great-looking guy. I kind of think I look like if Steve Buscemi and Lady Gaga got married and adopted an ugly baby. That's the kind of look I have. But and I'm kind of awkward in social relationships as well, which doesn't make it easier. I kind of blame my parents for that. Because, my parents always taught me as a kid never to talk to strangers. Now I can't. That's cool. We can dub in the laughter to that in post. I'm going to take the studio audience from the King of Queens and put it on all of these jokes. So if Kevin James pops in at any point, that explains that. But no, yeah, my parents never taught me about sex either, which I think is weird because I don't know if this is too personal for like a show in the park, kids around, but sex is actually how I was conceived. I know, wild. And I think it's weird not to teach your kids about it because they just learn about it in other places. Like I have this friend, and when she was 13, she learned that women sometimes like to masturbate using a shower nozzle. So she tried it and dislocated both of her shoulders. Yeah, because they had a mounted shower head. Entirely different situation. I don't know if you ever tried to do a handstand in the rain. Also, Paul, maybe don't look back at your girlfriend when I say that.
I'm looking back, but there's children nearby.
It just creates a real awkward tension for me. I don't need to know that much about what you guys do alone. How much time do I have, Betsy? Good to do like a little bit more?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've been, what else? I've been trying to make some changes in my own life. I've been trying to live more ethically, you know, because it's so hard to tell. Sometimes there's like things that you buy or do that you don't even think about, but they have like such a big effect globally. Like I get up every morning and I make myself a cup of coffee, right? And that coffee was made by slaves. And then I go up and get dressed, and those clothes were made by slaves. And then I go down to the basement and whip my slaves. And it's like, am I complicit, you know? I started a new job as well. I started a new job like 3 days ago. It's weird because I'm working with a lot of normies, a lot of normcore folks, and I'm kind of a freak, like an underdweller, a slime boy, if you will. And yeah, so they all really like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and being racist against travelers, whereas I like anime and haggling with findoms on OnlyFans. Like, I want you to call me a worthless little bitch, but I'm not going to pay that much for it. Yeah, what else do normies like? I guess, yeah, I've been noticing some things. They really like Will Smith. Normal people really like the book Normal People. Normal people really hate when I go into the canteen and swirl my tongue in some milk without drinking it. That's one thing they really don't like. Normal people really hate when I dress up like Paul Mescal and swirl my tongue around in some milk without telling them. And they really, really hate when I dress up like Will Smith and swirl my tongue around in some milk without telling them. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here now, but this has been fun to do. But I just want to say real quick before I go that I've been doing a few of these online gigs, performed for a lot of different crowds, a lot of different people. But I really do mean it when I say that you guys have been the most recent. And that comes from the bottom of my heart. So thank you very much. My notebook got wet.
That was Matthew Tallon, everybody. I love Matthew Tallon because, well, you know, Matthew, you're kind of weird because you're Irish, but, I mean, well, for many reasons, but one of the many reasons you're weird is that you're Irish, but you sound a little American, which, you know, usually you find the opposite. Usually you find Americans who are trying really hard to be Irish, right? They come over here and they're like, my grandparents are from Donegal, and, you know, I'm just Irish like you. I drink green beer on St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, no, it's not a very popular time to be American right now. Anytime you meet someone in Ireland who claims to be Canadian, they're wrong. They're just a lying, ashamed American. There are no Canadians. Canadians don't exist, okay? Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I know it's like whenever I talk to any Americans who claim to have Irish ancestry, they're always going off about how like their ancestors were royalty, like they were dukes and lords or whatever. Like you never meet anyone who's just honest, who's like, my grandfather, my great something grandfather was a dirty pig farmer who statutory raped his 13-year-old wife, and that's how I came into being. Like, okay. There's a lot of children here. This is a lot of, okay. On that note, we're going to bring up the next comedian, Kate Feeney. Kate, get up here. Yeah.
So, hello. I've bit like Matthew, I've only done online gigs really recently, so I guess I was going to bring like cling film just to make myself feel comfortable, but instead I brought my phone and a notebook, and I have a few people scattered around the park with signs to remind me how to speak to human beings. So excuse me if I do look at my notes a bit. Lockdown, did everyone get to spend loads of time on their own? Or just me? Yeah. So, did anyone do loads of introspection? Navel gazing? Yeah. Like I live on my own, but as it turned out, I live with a lot of really annoying people, all of whom are me. And oh my God, like she's tricky. All of me's, like they're just so annoying. The chef is the worst. She is such a little bitch because she will, she'll serve up things like, just, you know, those Uncle Ben's spicy rice things? She'll serve that up and an after eight and call that dinner. Can you believe that? One thing I definitely learned about myself over lockdown is, having spent years telling everyone that I'm an introvert, when I'd go to Super Value, I would just seek the most intense emotional connection from the people behind the counter, that I was like, I have to give that up as a thing, you know, just really locking eyes, trying to get behind their soul. So I've given that up. I've realised I'm definitely not an introvert. Okay, sorry, I just need to look at my notes. So what else am I going to tell you about? Oh yeah, so the whole like working from home thing, like previously I would have associated working from home with, I don't know, like amazing writers or the Kardashians or, you know, people of note, and it sounds kind of glamorous. Anyone else working from home at the moment? Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, it sounds glamorous in a way, and I did imagine that I'd wear tweed and write a novel in my spare time, but actually I'm just sort of eating after eights and napping, and I feel like a big part of the problem for me, again, realising I'm an extrovert, is that I don't have supervision. Like, I feel like I need people to be watching me for me to do the thing that I need to do. So I've thought a lot about like what that could be. Like maybe we could have, you know, sports people have commentators. Like I'd love if at lunchtime I had, you know, people who'd watch me during the morning critique what I did in the morning. So they might come on and be like, yeah, Kate started out quite strong this morning, didn't she? She actually looked at her emails. She worked through her inbox. I thought she sent a bit of a exclamation-ridden message to a client, a bit unprofessional. And then there's always a Liverpool guy, isn't there, who comes on, no, Kate did all right. They're always a bit more upbeat. Kate did all right. I like the way she actually came on video on Zoom. That's bold, because she hadn't done a makeup and she looked a state. And, you know, I thought it was nice that she came off mute and said, sounds good. Twice. Like, that was very engaging for the crowds. But yeah, I think I would get more done if I was being watched. Maybe that's something I should look into as a kink, Matthew. Being watched doing minimal work. But what else was I going to say about identity? I don't know. One identity, I've gone on some dates during lockdown too, and that's a weird identity now to have as someone who goes for dinner on a first date. I just don't feel comfortable with that identity. It makes me feel like a 1950s man who's like, shall we dine? And it's just, it's a bit like being a diabetic version of my parents, this whole lockdown, because everything's planned out in advance. You know, you have to like lock in the date. I shall book a restaurant. I shall see you there at 6. We'll have to leave by 6:45, you do understand. So it's a bit uncomfortable in that respect. But there's things that lockdown or the pandemic has reordered in society that I think is for the better. Like just before the pandemic, I did jury duty. Has anyone done jury duty? It's fun to say, not fun to do, jury duty. But that's kind of gone at the moment, so it's all online. But I think it should stay gone, because it was so dreadful. Like the concept, if you think about it, so the way it works, I'm sure you guys know, I'm not sure if it's different in wherever you all are, but the way it works is the electoral registry, they just kind of go, load of names, call those people, or email them, message them, whatever, and they have to come in, and then you're a jury of your peers. So like you have a room of 80 people who frankly I wouldn't trust to pick my lunch, like all ready to decide the fate of whoever. The decor in the Central Criminal Court, shit as well, just as a side note, not nice. But what happens is your name gets pulled out. My name was pulled out for this particular trial. It was a sexual assault trial. So, like, in fairness, I was all guns blazing. I was like, he's guilty, like, before I even started. And I think that might have come across in my general demeanour. Remember, I walked in like, fuck you. I don't know what I did, but I walked in and I was like, I'm getting on this. And anyway, the defence can object to you. And I was really trying not to be objecting. You know, I don't know what the facial expression is for, don't worry about me, I'm actually really pro-rape. But I tried that face, which was something like, guys gotta have a little fun. So, sorry. And anyway, I got objected to because obviously I was admitting that I'm sending you to hell, phase 2. But it's super rude. They just object to you, and you're basically just kicked out of the room. And I just found that really, I just felt like very personally affronted by it. So it's not designed for people who are thin-skinned. So that's one problem with the legal system. But another problem is, like, yeah, you basically can whittle it down to the people that you think are going to be sympathetic to your perspective, which I don't think works, and I don't think you get to the right answer with that at all. I think what would get to the right answer, and I think we all know these people, there are certain, I'm just going to say it's women, mainly it's women, there are certain women who can see into your soul, aren't there? Do you know that friend? Like, maybe you see them for brunch on a Sunday, and the night before you had sex with someone you definitely shouldn't have, and you're sitting there and you're like, I'm not going to bring it up, I'm not going to actually mention that, I'm just going to have brunch, I'm just going to eat my sausages, I'm going to have my latte, and I'm not going to bring it up. And they just clock you and they go, where were you last night? What did you do? Who were you with? Oh, you had sex with your ex. And they just know. There are those women. So I think basically with the pandemic, with things changing, things being reordered, thrown up in the air, that's what we should do. We should just have these women replace the entire legal system, and once someone commits a crime, you're plonked in front of, do you have that friend in your head? Let's call her Sarah. You're plonked in front of Sarah, and she just goes, did you rob that house? Did you commit embezzlement? Is that it? Okay, you did. Okay, he did. And then we're done. What else would I reinvent from the pandemic? I don't know. Like I think we should get back to normality. It's not ideal, is it, this whole thing? I mean, no. You can see I've really lost my social skills. What was something I was going to tell you guys? Oh yeah, just in terms of like going back to missing people and relationships, I did think like men and women handled the pandemic slightly differently. Like, I think a lot of guys were like, fucking deadly, don't have to fucking text anyone back. Whereas women, I felt, were more affronted by it. Like, and then I was thinking too, you know, is that just, or do we need connection more as women? I don't know. I had lunch with my friend yesterday, and she and I texted each other afterwards, and this is the text exchange. It was really nice to see her. I hadn't seen her in like 4 or 5 months. It was really good to have that like interaction again. But this is the text exchange that we shared. So I said, Michelle, so lovely to see you. You're such an amazing person. I adore you. You're doing so well. You're looking so great. Pretty standard message between, and she wrote back, I absolutely adore you. You are amazing. So good to hear your news. Can't wait to see you soon. Now, guys, have you ever sent a message like that to a friend after a pint? No. But it reminds me of, I was at my cousin's wedding last year, and his best man, Declan, like they've been best friends since they were 4. They went travelling, they went to college together, like they'd done everything together. And he stood up as the best man, and this is his opportunity, you know, to kind of have that moment of connection. And he stood up and said, well, Declan, you're looking well. Your bride's looking gorgeous, and the bridesmaids are looking gorgeous. Always love that patronising moment in a wedding. You're not looking bad yourself in the brown suit. Reminds me of the time that you shot yourself at the Blitz in Limerick. And that was it in terms of emotional disclosure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I've been Kate Feeney. You've been lovely.
was Kate Feeney, everyone. You know, Kate, when you were talking about women having that intuition and then you go off and have like brunch with them, I felt a little called out because you were like, you know, when you have a brunch with a lady friend and then you looked at me in the eyes, because you and I have had lunch a couple times and I'm just like, what the fuck does she know about me? What are you trying to say about me, Kate? Damn. Oh, okay. Anyways, on that note, we're bringing up our third act, Cian Jordan. Cian.
Oh, we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I'm not feeling great about it. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Yeah, had a pregnancy scare, which is weird because I'm a man, I was alone, and I haven't had sex in 6 months. So that was something, but we'll do our best. We'll get through it, we'll muddle through, huh? We're all friends here. Okay. I guess we don't mean as much to each other as I thought we did. You just you didn't actually even laugh at that. You just ignored that comment. Why aren't we friends? We spend a lot of time together. What about me isn't your friend? I thought we were friends. Like, Dominic, are we not friends? Yeah. Like, you fucking tease. Like, you fucking, like, how could I not think we're friends? Look at how you're dressed. Like, you swan up here in those shorts, like you want to talk about Radiohead or something with me. And I thought we had a human connection. Okay, we're gonna have a human connection. I'm gonna make a human connection with you. Now. Come here. A genuine, no, come on. Come on. Get up, and just stand there, face, camera's over there, so, no, face stage me.
Why'd you say the camera's over there?
I was just letting you know what the story was.
Okay.
Okay.
I know what I said.
Look.
Okay.
Okay, just calm down. You're in it now. No, stop laughing. You're part of the. Okay. So I'm going to form a genuine human connection. It's okay. We have a close physical bond. We do this all the time. Oh, I thought it meant something.
Do you have COVID?
No, I got tested.
Oh, okay.
Fine. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Okay.
It's not your fault.
Oh God.
It's not your fault.
Okay. People are going to think we're Scientologists or something.
Nah, they might, but it's not your fault if they do.
Okay.
It's not your fault.
Okay.
I mean, it could be your fault.
Good.
I don't even know what you did. What did you do?
I don't know.
You've no answer to that.
No.
What did you do?
I don't know.
What did you do?
I don't know.
What did you do? There we go. Genuine human connection. He's terrified of me. Go away. Well, that needs some work. But yeah, it's been a weird year. Sitting at home, just full of guilt, because like I kind of feel like it's all my fault because my New Year's resolution was I wanted to do more escape rooms. Man, you remember that in 2019? Oh man, I want to spend hours on end locked in a room with 3 other 20-somethings. I'll pay for it. Oh well, it throws off all your plans. Like I had a comedy plan for this year. Like I got into stand-up comedy for the same reason as most people, I think, to avenge my father's death. And you know, a big part of that is identifying his killer, which is why I've gathered you all here today. It's just a joke. It does, but I mean, you got a lot of time to think. So I was remembering like the good old days. Like you remember last year, all the good old days with the lads. You know, the good old days, like the Spanish Civil War. The good old days. Me and the lads going off to Barcelona. Dara getting it off with a senorita. The rest of us dying in trenches. The good old days. Or good old days heading out west during the famine. Every gaff was a free gaff. The good old days, huh? Or pre-drinks. Do you remember pre-drinks? I never got pre-drinks. I don't get it. If going out drinking with your friends is so good, why do you have to get drunk to do it? Yeah, that needs some work. We'd all hang out and we'd be like, where are we going? Where are we going? We go to Coppers or we going to Dicey's? Where are the Brazilians? They're everywhere. But they have no interest in you. You know? That was usually my interaction with all my friends, which is why I haven't seen them, and also everything else that's going on. What else is written on my hand? Women, huh? I miss women. How about them women? Structure will come later. We'll figure it out. Women. I miss them. Haven't been doing much with them, which is amazing because I'm great. And the standard for straight lads is so low. Like you can get away with anything, really. Like this is a conversation I overheard a couple of weeks ago. It was just a woman and her friend talking, and she was like, "Oh, I'm having loads of problems with Mark. Me and Mark are having a real rough time. The other night he got out of bed and he just started shitting in the corner of the room." And her friend went, "Oh my God. He trusts you so much. I want that. I want that bond." What else is written on my hand? Sure. Pregnancy scare, Spanish Civil War. Oh, have I done the hand? Yes. I finished off my hand. Excellent. I don't know how long I was meant to be on, but I'm done. I am good. Thank you. Yeah. Excellent. Go me.
Cian Jordan, giving you that female validation that you so desperately need. No, I'm just joking. I'm a little offended that you're talking about like you're missing women, but you didn't ask me to come up for that human connection. Why didn't you? It's okay. Paul likes to watch. It's fine.
Oh, next time.
Okay, next time. Hey, good. Let's cheer for our tech man / my boyfriend Paul, who's the sexiest tech man in this park right now. Yeah. Anyways, so before we bring on our next act, I just kind of want to say, quarantine has been quite rough. I'm a little claustrophobic having to stay indoors all the time because, when I was growing up, my house ended up catching fire twice. A lot of people are like, "Oh man, Betsy, your house catching fire twice as a kid, that's so tragic." And I'm like, "Nah, fam, it was lit." On that note, we're gonna bring up our next act. Fucking love this guy. He's so dark and hilarious, and just no pressure. But if you're not dark and funny, I will murder you. Okay. James Cadden. Yeah. James.
Yeah.
Hey. Hello. Woo. Hey, how's it going? Nice job, Cian, bringing Dominic up, making him really uncomfortable. It was like the old days. I felt like I was gigging in Galway again, so good job, good times. So how's everyone doing in the lockdown? It's been rough on everyone, I'm sure. I've actually gained a bit of weight since lockdown. Before I was actually a Abercrombie and Fitch model, so well, I say that I would just go and stand outside the shop with my shirt off. So yeah, I'm just waiting for them to get back to me. They'll come around. So I'm from County Monaghan originally. Yeah, good. Doesn't need an applause. Not worth it. I grew up on the border, like very close to the border. So there was always a lot of talk of the IRA and stuff. And like when that whole Brexit thing happened, people were like, "Oh, is the IRA going to come back again?" And nobody wants to see that. I especially don't want to see it because I think there would be nothing more depressing than a millennial IRA. Do you know what I mean? Like instead of planting car bombs, they'll just cyberbully Protestants into killing themselves. You know? Oh, that bowler hat and sash makes you look fat. Ugh, orange is so not your color. Gross. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to be like an IRA hipster, but I kind of think they did their best work in the 80s and 90s, you know. I would consider the Oma bombing to be the IRA's stairway to heaven, you know what I mean? That was their best work. That works at a couple of levels there. Hey, yeah, Tallon's on it, he gets it. Yeah. So Monaghan, I didn't have a good time growing up in Monaghan. It was tough. School was very tough. Hard time in school. I had a hard time fitting in. I remember actually it got so bad and I was so desperate to fit in that I eventually gave in to peer pressure. And I started beating up the least popular student in the whole class, which is also how I got into self-harming. Yeah, school was tough. There was this one guy who bullied me every day because he absolutely hated me for being gay, even though I'm not actually gay. Personally, I'd expect more from a primary school teacher, but, you know, Monaghan, what are you going to do? I don't understand the homophobic mentality, though. Do you think homophobes get angry every time they see a rainbow? Maybe homophobes think the rainbow is like the bat symbol for gay people. Look at that now, they're at it again, Jesus Christ. Yeah. This isn't my set, by the way, this is just the N-word written in different languages. Calms me down, I don't know why, it's a weird thing. So school was tough. My home life wasn't much better, to be honest. I didn't get along very well with my father. I've got a lot of daddy issues, is what I'm saying. I should be doing porn, but with this body I have to do stand-up comedy instead, so yeah. Porn's more dignified, especially now. No offense, this is great, Betsy, thanks for having me. Yeah, so my dad, I didn't really get along very well with my dad. I found him to be quite a hypocritical man. Like, he'd say things to me like, James, don't smoke cigarettes, but he smoked all the time. He'd say, James, don't drink alcohol, but he was a very heavy drinker. He'd say, James, don't be so lazy and just be hanging around the house. And he hanged himself in our house. So, yeah, I know, right? Very, yeah, total hypocrite. I remember when I found him, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, hypocrite. That's it, I'm smoking. Fuck you, Dad. Yeah. My mom doesn't like that joke at all. Yeah. No sense of humor. Admittedly, the eulogy was the wrong time to try it out, but, you know, live and learn. Yeah, you know, actually a couple of years after my dad died, our family dog died, and like the dog, we had her for like 16 years. She was great. We loved her. And I just remember thinking when she died, it's like, I'm so glad we don't have funerals for dogs like we do for people, because the neighbors came to the graveside of my dog and saw that I'm crying a lot more for my dog than I was for my father. That's bad PR, you know. In my defense, though, the dog never came home drunk on my 7th birthday and called me a coward, so, you know, good times. My father was a strange man. He was, this is true now, genuinely, he actually owned a crossbow. So, but I grew up with it, so it just, I don't know, I never questioned it, really. But then, one time my friends were coming around and like hanging out, and my dad, for whatever reason, he had a few drinks on him. He took his crossbow down and started showing it off. It's like, see that, guys? Yeah. That could kill a person of color from however many yards away, except that's not the term that he used. So he was a complicated man, but don't worry, he got his. Yeah. He got his, so yeah. What else can I tell you about myself? I smoke a lot of weed. Thank you. Yeah, I smoke a lot of weed. I would go as far to say that for me, smoking weed is a bit of a religious experience, because when I smoke too much weed and start having a panic attack, that's the only time I'll ever acknowledge the existence of God, you know what I mean? Just sort of lying in bed, heart pounding out of my chest. Oh dear God, don't let me die. Dear Lord in heaven, don't let me die, please. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll stop smoking weed. I'll start going to church. I'll stop watching incest porn. Just don't let me die, please. I really shouldn't have said that punchline. There are kids like very close by. This is not good. It would be great if the guards came and arrested me. One of the few people who get arrested for indecent exposure while keeping all my clothes on. That's good. That's good for the self-esteem. What else we got here? So, yeah. You guys remember Tamagotchis? It's been a while now. I haven't done segues in a while. I'm trying. I'm a little rusty. Yeah, Tamagotchis were fun though. I used to love playing with my Tamagotchi, but the really fucked up thing is, you know, I used to love like killing them, you know, like, 'cause you could, if you didn't feed it, you could kill them. And they say that's how serial killers get their start. And, you know, prophecy fulfilled, because before I knew it, I was killing off Sims characters by the dozen, you know. My technological bloodthirst was unquenchable. How long have I done?
You got another
2 minutes. Jesus Christ. Okay. Gonna need a bigger hand. Speaking of dogs, yeah, I kind of been talking about some filthy stuff, so I'll talk about, I love dogs, like I talked about the family dog. I mean, man's best friend indeed, we all love dogs, but there's one breed of dog that I never really liked, and this always kind of upsets people, but I never really understood the obsession with pugs, you know what I mean? Like little dogs with their scrunched up faces that they struggle to breathe out of. I don't know, why is it that every woman I know looks at that and thinks, oh gosh, look, it's so inbred and repugnant, that's adorable, I just have to have him. So that confuses me and slightly angers me, because why can't they have that same mentality when it comes to men, you know what I mean? Hey, look, overweight stoner who's like talking about his dad's suicide in a public park. Adorable, I just have to have him. But no. One last thing. So I turned 31 during lockdown. Hooray for me. Yeah. So like, I don't know if I'll make it to 41. The odds aren't good, to be honest. Not living the best kind of lifestyle for that, but I don't know. I'm not sure if this is a world I want to... Well, hey, save that for the therapist, James. Go on now, we're having fun here. But, fucking hate that guy. He's so judgmental, man. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I turned 31, and I noticed I'm getting older, you know, because this actually happened. I woke up the other morning, and for the first time I actually found a grey pubic hair, which just kind of freaked me out. But what was really alarming was that I actually found it in my mouth. Yeah, I know. My grandfather owes me an explanation. Now relax, I'm joking, he's dead too. At least I hope so, otherwise the cremation was a huge mistake, you know. You know what I always wondered about cremation? If you die in a house fire, is that like half price off the cremation? Because like the job's half done, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's pretty lit. Call back to what Betsy said. Professional. All right, thanks very much. Good night.
James Cadden, I feel honored that, you know, not only did you make fun of your own traumas, but you dragged mine into it as well. That's, we're friends, we can do that with each other. Yeah, so there's a lot of children in the park today. I think and there's also a lot of, what?
Not as many now.
Not as many, we scared them off. There's also a lot of guards monitoring people for social distancing, and I'm just like, we're just here shouting about incest and drugs, and we're just calling ourselves out. So gonna be arrested any moment. I'm not scared of the cops here though. They don't have guns, so it's fine. No, you guys notice how everyone's getting a little socially awkward now? I mean, certainly me. This hasn't been my best hosting game, I'll be honest with you. Just been off the whole past few weeks. Like, I met with my boss a couple days ago just to get some coffee and talk about stuff that's going on at work, and I was trying to crack a joke. He asked me what I thought of the burrito place across the street, and he's like, oh, do they give you like good portions and stuff? And I was like, yeah, the burritos they give, it's so much, it's like a baby, it's like eating a baby. And I was trying to be funny, and it wasn't quite, he just like looked at me. And I was like, okay, I have to explain the joke, right? So I just kept, like, oh, because it's like huge like a baby, and it's warm like a baby, and it's soft, and it has the same skin color as, well, like a baby I might have. And he didn't get it. So I think I lost my job, you guys. So on that note, we're gonna bring up our last act, Dominic. Yeah. Dominic.
Thanks. I lost my job as well. I don't have a joke. I'm just telling you my economic situation. I bought a salt lamp. It hit me. Okay. I studied abroad. She slapped me. I know what you're thinking. Do all my jokes just end in violence? It's called a punchline for a reason. Someone called me a crusty recently, which as someone with eczema was hurtful. You may be wanting to heckle me, don't but I'll give you this word of warning. The last person who heckled me was my girlfriend, and we're now in a 2-year relationship. So it may be fun and games for you, but 2 years later we'll be in a department store arguing over cushions, thinking, how did we get to this place? I gave cocaine to a pony, and won't let me on. I'm not getting on my high horse. I was walking around Ballymun, and I noticed everyone there had a kind of certain walk. You know, they kind of walk with their shoulders. And I was wondering why is that, and it's obvious. It's so they can throw a punch at any moment. No? Okay. I got into gardening since the COVID, and I bought this flower. It was called a crested coxcomb, and it's a weird looking flower. It's kind of furry and it has a middle bit. You can see why it's called that, but it's also a symbol for everlasting love, and it died within 2 weeks of me getting it. I came up with this new game. I have this shirt that has my name on it. It's like, hello, I'm Dominic. And now I just walk around shops, and if anyone asks me a question, I'm just really rude to them. And then I just watch all the bad reviews on fucking Yelp or whatever. I started foraging as well, because, you know, lost my job. I don't want to buy food anymore. And I was outside McDonald's yesterday, actually, and there was a load of berries there. And I was just picking them because, you know, they look nice. And I could just see all the people looking at me being like, that freak isn't buying McDonald's, but he's eating the berries outside it. And I was like, yeah, I'm just sticking it to the man or whatever. There's no joke there. This is just genuinely part of my life. Right. Do you ever notice, I seen someone who was working with Ryanair. And anyone who works in like airlines and all, they always have a lot of product on their hair. And I was wondering, why is that? And I figured it out. It's because they work in a place that goes around the world spreading toxic fumes, so that when they're not working, they still want to be spreading those toxic fumes. So, okay. No. No, okay. A load of people from the oil companies here. Do you remember the good old days? Also had a joke about the good old days. It was last year. You know, remember when all we had to worry about was the homeless crisis? And the homeless crisis and global warming. God, they were good, weren't they? Like my grandkids are going to come up to me in the future and be like, Grandad, tell me about the homeless crisis. And they were the best, you know, because so some of us had homes then. Well, I'll be living out in a forest in the future. Probably, I don't know. I've been trying to stay away from like technology and stuff as well, because it's all fear now, isn't it? You have to fear something. It's either, you know, if you're not fearing climate change, you're fearing the pandemic, or you're fearing Trump. Davy Riley's still out there. Well, yeah, the non-comedians won't get that one. It's weird though, because like during the pandemic, it came out that a load of comedians were, you know, raping, like kind of professional comedians. And like I always I'm not a professional comedian, but I always wondered like what professional comedians do with their time. And yeah, that's not good. It's like when you think like, what did the rich and famous do? You know, all their rich and fame. You know, how did they spend their spare time? Turns out children. You know, there was an end bit to that somewhere. Oh yeah. Well, you know what do you get the man who has everything? It's a child sex slave. Apparently, it's hard to rap, but you know, it's good. They're fairly far away. It's grand. I was on a bus recently, and I was wearing the mask. Hello. You missed. Good job, you came up at that time. I was on a bus recently, and I was wearing the mask, and like I'm a very nasally person, and I had the mask on, and I felt a sneeze coming, and I didn't know what to do. You know, if I take off the mask and sneeze, people will burn me. If you know, so what I ended up doing was I kind of panicked. I left the mask on, and I sneezed inside it, and it was the worst bus journey I have ever been on. Again, not really funny. Just something that happened to me. How long do I have for time?
You got another 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Oh, fuck. This is what I usually do, and I just stare.
You can come down if you want.
No, I'm happy staring. 2 minutes, you said? Well, extend it to 5. How? Okay, goodbye.
Dominic, yeah. I love it. I love it how you're just making the passerbys feel awkward. You know what? But you know what they say? If the people won't come to the comedy show, then the comedy show is going to come to the people. It's a little non-consensual in this case, but there you go. That's how devoted we are at Curtain Call Comedy. And that's the end of our show. I just want to shout out to everyone who was on the lineup. We had Matthew Tallon. Woo! We had Kate Feeney. Then we had Cian Jordan. James Cadden. And Dominic Goland. Is that how you say it? Goland? Goland. Yeah, Goland. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Yes. Thanks, you guys.